Time for some political updates. We've got Donald Trump receiving excellent news as he hires a new jobs report analyst to get him the information he wants to hear. Is it the correct information? Who the hell knows? And I think that's the problem. Then we've got Bernie Sanders discussing the collateral damage to come from the war in Gaza. And we also have an Epstein update. So much to jump into in the world of politics. It's wild out there. So here he is. Trump loyalist presents new data just days after he was saying that the jobs report was bad because of tariffs. So it's like, which one is it? And basically, this guy's like, I'll say whatever you want if you're going to pay me.
I called the president because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together.
New data. Where did you find this data? In a closet at Mar-a-Lago? Was it in some binders in the bathroom?
That no one has ever seen before, and I'll just very quickly go through these. So I was telling the president that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. Mr. President, that's a gigantic error.
73,000 jobs. 73,000 jobs created in the month of July. Number just coming out.
And that's total.
Steve Moore, your reaction.
Look, I think this is all a result, this disappointing number is a result of all the turmoil over tariffs and the trade wars.
Oh, right. So there it is. I mean, it's like, and this is the problem. Companies don't know what the hell to do. They don't know where to invest. They don't know where to build their infrastructure. They don't know what the tariffs are going to be. And this is what they talk about in history books, right? About having a brave leader, somebody who can really guide confidence in the market, a strong vision. These things sound like such, I don't know, talking points. But then when you see something like this, which is like, well, I don't want to fire that guy, so let's hire the new guy. It's like, well, which one is it? Do you think companies are going to go on a hiring spree when they can't trust the data? I don't think so. So let's continue on what this new jobs guy has to say.
And I don't know if she's, I'm not
It might not have been an error. That's the bad part. If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
They did it purposefully. And by the way, this lady who was just fired was approved by a vote of something like 86-8. So you had Democrats and Republicans absolutely approving of her. She, had all the credentials in the world. Maybe she was a DEI hire and they had to get rid of her and bring in the old white guy.
That you may well be right, but even if it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Okay. So 1.5 million jobs overestimated. We have access to.
And then Trump gets to hold the chart. He loves a good chart. Kinko's is making a killing. The local Kinko's near White House. If ever you see Kinko's being busy at night near the White House, you know it's going to be a big day. Get the tripod chart holder, go to Kinko's, make sure you're stocked up on all your color ink, because we're going to be printing some charts tonight.
We have access to some data that no one else does on what has happened month by month with median household income. This is based on unpublished census.
This chart that they're looking at right here that's going up, this actually shows a chart of the amount of gold that's in the Oval Office, increasing by a lot. Gold on the walls, Trump's got a gold-colored tie, just lots of gold.
It will be released sometime in the next 6 months, but we get an advanced look at it. And so I was telling the president in his first 5 months in office, starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174.
There it is. People are just making more money, which is going to be helpful because they're going to need it to pay for the tariffs because it's an American tax. It's a tax on Americans. Okay, let's go to the Epstein news. White House met with Epstein last night. Boy, do you remember we just covered this yesterday? J.D. Vance said, no, we're not meeting to talk about the Epstein thing. That's fake news. Well, now reports are it happened.
Breaking news at this hour. NBC News can now report that there was, in fact, a White House meeting on the Epstein case last night. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel were both there. We do not know if the president was there himself. NBC News reported that a meeting on the Epstein case was supposed to take place at the vice president's residence, but when asked about it, both the vice president and the president denied it.
It's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
So again, insulting the reporters. And listen, like we talked about earlier, obviously not all reporters are great. There's a bunch of hogwash out there, but you know, it looks like the reporter was right. So either way, they met, and we're going to find out in the next couple of days what the talking points will be. We'll see what Charlie Kirk, he'll get a text message on Telegraph that says, blame it on, Hillary Clinton. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whatever it's going to be, we're going to find out. But I'm telling you what, when Congress comes back on September 2nd, they're going to be in for a rude awakening as people are going to be ready for them to vote on releasing the Epstein files. All right, we have an update on Alligator Alcatraz as an former employee, describes the conditions inside the facility. Let me guess, it's not good.
I thought it would get better, but it never did. It's inhumane the way that they're keeping their residents. When I got there, it was overwhelming.
She shared her state of Florida credential, which lists her position as a corrections officer.
They said it was going to be 5 days on, 2 days off. I was aware that it was going to be the Alligator Alcatraz. We had to use the porta-johns. We didn't have hot water half the time. Our bathrooms were backed up. It looked like an oversized dog kennel.
And that's for the people that were working there, not the people that are behind the cages that don't get to leave.
She says each tent had 8 large cages.
Each pod holds 35 to 38 inmates. They have bunk beds in them. They have no sunlight. There's no clock in there. They don't even know what time of the day it is. They shower every other day or every 4 days. The bathrooms are backed up because you got so many people using them.
So, and again, this is the least, sadly, of the problems that are out there. Because while this is a tragedy, there's also a genocide happening right now. And here's Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican, a member of MAGA, although she's questioning her allegiances right now. She says some things that are very popular to the American public. Have a listen.
I've used the term genocide, and I think that's the right term to use. And so Israel is an incredible country. Let me tell you the other great things in Israel. They have state-funded health care. State-funded health. They also have state-funded college.
If I may.
Fox News better start paying attention. But their problem is most of the people that watch Fox News are very much up in age, the baby boomer generation, who I love. Those are my parents. But that's their biggest audience. That's not the future of America. And I know that's hard and tough talk, but the future of America is my children's generation, Eric. And they don't have a future right now because we have Mark Levin, the neocons, and the establishment in Washington, D.C., pushing as hard as possible to shove us into more foreign wars. And they will. She's
not wrong. I always say a broken clock's right twice a day, but you got to give credit where there's something you can fight together on. In this case, she was complimenting Israel for their state-funded health care. Hey, bring that over to the United States there, Marge. Come on. You can meet with folks on the progressive side that want to talk about state-funded health care. Let's do it. Let's find these issues we agree on, and let's put real pressure on our government, on all of the people that are trying to stop it, all of the insurance company lobbyists, all of the dark money that doesn't want this to happen. Let's put pressure on them and get our country up to the standard of all of the other first world countries. Here's Bernie Sanders, and he's holding a stack of names of all of the children that have died of collateral damage in this war in Gaza.
Here is the list. These are the names of children published in the Washington Post today that have been killed by the Israeli military in Gaza. The United Nations reports that more than 18,000 children have been killed since this war began. And I should mention that more than 12,000 of these children were under the age of 12.
And then he goes on to say that a study at Brown University shared that up to 70% of the funding of this war came from the United States taxpayers. We don't have a vote on this. This is where our money's going. I don't care if your name's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care if it's AOC. We need to support and demand and pressure our lawmakers to say this is not what we are about. We'll be back this afternoon to wrap up this crazy week. The podcast is not just politics, it's also pop culture. We combine them. You can listen anywhere you want. Just search The Rush Hour with Dave Neal every morning and every afternoon. We'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.